I'm Cassidy Hubbarth filling in for Malika Andrews as she gets ready to host the draft in New York City, where projected #1 overall pick Victor Wembanyama has been seen all around town, guys. He got the full New York experience, including a subway ride to Yankee Stadium where he barely fit, and he threw out the first pitch, kind of, sort of. Ramona, can you remember any other prospect that had the red carpet rolled like this for him?
LeBron?
Can we talk about how the ball looked like a ping pong ball in his hand?
I mean...
That was the first time ever probably in NBA history that we done seen somebody throw a pitch out that they wasn't actually playing for that city, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We're now joined by ESPN senior insider Adrian Wojnarowski, joining us now from Barclays Center, 1 day away from the NBA draft. And look, Woj, you reported that Charlotte is getting closer to a decision on what to do with the #2 pick. What more can you tell us?
Cassidy, Charlotte brought back both Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson on Monday to work out, both for a second time, to have meetings with Hornets officials. But this time, outgoing majority owner Michael Jordan was in the building, met both players, watched the workouts, and ultimately he's going to have the final say on this draft pick. Now, he has agreed in principle to sell his majority share, but he will still be the governor of this team until the Board of Governors approve the new group. And so, listen, this has been a process this week in Charlotte. Brandon Miller, I'm told, has been the front runner throughout this process, and nothing yet this week has changed that. But I would still write Brandon Miller's name in pencil in Charlotte, not quite in pen yet. We're getting closer, but this is a player who, at #2, I think potentially Charlotte sees as a multi-time all-star level wing player. And I think Scoot Henderson is also a player that they see with all-star potential, as do the Portland Trail Blazers sitting at #3. But certainly Charlotte's getting closer now to finalizing their decision. And I'm told Brandon Miller still is in the driver's seat to be the second pick on Thursday night.
Very interesting that an outgoing owner is tasked with making such a significant decision. What does this mean, though, for Portland, as you mentioned, at #3, as well as with their star Damian Lillard, Woj?
Well, for Portland, listen, they're going to continue to talk with teams around the league to see, is there a deal built around that third pick and certainly potentially other assets that makes sense to give up such a valuable piece of real estate. It was a third overall pick in a draft that most see as a 3-player draft. Now, history may not remember it as that, but that's where it is this week. And so I think if Portland was going to trade out of that, they're going to have to get a significant return. I think your margin of error, and especially in a smaller market like Portland, to have a rookie scale contract with a player that you think has all-star potential, you've got to get a lot back. But certainly they want to build around Damian Lillard. That's been their focus. Damian Lillard says he wants to continue to be in Portland. And so I think they'll go right up to the clock on Thursday night. Offers and I think outreach from teams tends to get more serious the closer you get to a deadline, whether that's the draft, whether that's a trade deadline. People start to give you their best offers. And so Portland may not have gotten the best offers that are going to come to them, but they will here in the next 24 hours or so. This is a significant decision, certainly, for this organization, for Damian Lillard's future in Portland. But certainly if Brandon Miller is off the board at #2, I think Scoot Henderson is certainly very prominent in their plans in Portland.
Do the Blazers need to make a decision between Dame or the pick?
You know what? They don't. And I think if I'm the front office of the Trail Blazers, I don't rush to try to get anything for this third pick. If they have an opportunity to get Scoot Henderson, damn it, they do it. I believe that Dame is going to be patient throughout the rest of the offseason, maybe even into training camp, to see what the front office is going to do for us, making moves to get some pieces in there to help him out to actually contend for a title. So if I'm the Portland Trail Blazers, I'm not rushing or I'm not trying to, make a move and trade that pick. Scoot Henderson has a promising future. This kid could be a bright young superstar in this league. And I just think about to the draft where, Danny Ainge, I believe, drafted Jason Tatum at number 3. And look how that's turned out, knowing that he was going to take Jason Tatum anyway when he finessed the Philadelphia 76ers and got back the number 3 pick and a future round first pick. But if I'm the Portland Trail Blazers, I'm being patient. I'm not rushing to shop this pick at all if I don't get back the return I'm looking for.
Austin, if Scoot is there at number 3, how do you decide between Dame or Scoot, or do you?
I mean, it really just comes down to what direction Portland's trying to go in. If you're trying to rebuild, I think you go with Scoot. And, you have a young core there. You have Anthony Simons. Jeremy Grant is still pretty young. Shannon Sharp showed a lot of promise last year. You have a lot of young talent there that you can kind of rebuild. This is an opportunity for Portland to essentially do what they did years ago when they brought Dame in and have a restart at a very talented, promising point guard. And I'll say selfishly, as a competitor and as a guy who came in the same class as Damian, I hope he gets to somewhere where he can really go compete. I want him on a win-now team. I want to see him play really meaningful minutes. He's been playing, and done everything that you could possibly do for an organization. Damian Lillard's done that. So I hope they take Scoot at 3 and Damian's able to move on.
Of course, Damian continues to say and reiterate that he wants to stay in Portland, but we will see. What's your reaction to all this, Ramona?
I mean, the sense I have is that Dame has not asked out, and he continues to show up in Portland. Like everyone I've talked to there says he's been very present in Portland during this offseason. Obviously, he's been posting on Instagram from Hong Kong, where I think he's doing a tour right now. But he's been there. He's showing you with his actions and his words that he wants to stay. And so I actually think it's more likely that he stays in Portland and they continue to try to find pieces around him and to try to build around him, give him the best chance. But the question isn't always Dame or the pick. It is, what are my options for either one? And so you, as Adrian mentioned, the offers that you might get for that pick or the offers you might get for Damian Lillard may not have, the best offers may not have happened yet. Okay, we still have a whole day until this draft. And so I think, let's watch this very closely, because as much as you want to, it seems like a choice right now between either or. It's not necessarily you make that choice right now and then decide to field offers. You see what offers are out there as they come in.
It's going to take for them to get into the regular season or, into training camp, and for a guy like Chauncey Billups, who Dame look up to say,
Yep.
Hey, bro, it's time for you to move on. That's how much Dame loves Portland, and that's how loyal he is. This guy's just cut from a different cloth. And although, us, myself included, we want to see Dame on a championship team. We want to see him force his way out. That's just not what he's on right now. And so it's going to actually take a guy that he's very close to, his head coach, his mentor, and Chauncey Billups, to go up to him and say, hey, Dame, hey, bro, it's time for you to move on. But until then, I expect to see Damian Lillard in the Portland Trail Blazers uniform.
Yeah, a lot of eyes are going to be on Portland, not just tomorrow, but I think for a few weeks and maybe well into the season on what they do with Dame and, whoever they draft at number 3. Victor Wembanyama is not only being described as the most anticipated prospect since LeBron James, but maybe ever. He sat down with our Malika Andrews this morning, a day before the Spurs are expected to select him number 1 overall, and discuss just how much pressure he feels to live up to all of the hype.
It seemed like this is where you wanted to go, that if there was anywhere in the NBA you could pick, it seemed like the Spurs had your heart. Why is that?
As an athlete, as a basketball player, professional basketball player, I know and I hear a lot of stuff, a lot of information about the NBA, how it works. I talk to some players, and I know that the culture isn't the same everywhere. And I think the place that matches me the most is San Antonio.
What about it matches you?
The expectations, the work ethic, and I know they just created a brand new training center.
Yeah.
Probably the best in the world. This is, I can't dream of anything better.
You've been dreaming of this, though, for
for years.
A long time. to be here, to be finally in this week leading up to the draft. How has it been for you?
I haven't had trouble to sleep yet, but I probably will tonight, without a doubt. Yeah, it's just so exciting, you know, seeing that all the work you've done for years, for decades almost, starts to pay off. It's really, I can't describe.
What are you looking forward to more? Dunking on somebody in the NBA or your first big block?
I'd say dunking on somebody. Because blocks, for me, blocks happen multiple times a game, you know, but dunking on somebody, it's really like, it's hard to do, you know, and dunking on somebody.
What's your message to San Antonio Spurs fans as you head there?
You know, I just feel lucky, and I just wanna thank them for already showing so much love. You know, ever since I came to the States, I've seen that I can have impact that I couldn't before. You know, and I hope I'm gonna give them as much fun as I can.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.